Hi friends, today we're going to talk about a very important and under-addressed topic. That's called depression. Now, a lot of you are familiar with this or may suffer from it yourself or know somebody who's suffering from it. And just so you know, you're not alone. And I'll explain in a little bit. Now, last time I checked, I'm not a doctor or a licensed psychiatrist or psychologist, so you can't go by me for official scientific advice or medical advice. But with that being said, I know from enough experience personally what it's like to suffer from depression, and so hopefully I can talk about my experiences and this resonates with somebody else to not feel like it's all them or they're alone or there's something wrong with them. No, even people in the Bible such as Moses, Elijah, and even King David all experienced depression at some point. You're really not alone like you think you are if that's how you're feeling. That being said, let me get into the first point. A lot of people like to say that it's just this physical problem that can be cured with medication. I disagree. Even though I'm not a licensed psychiatrist, I have enough background in science and also from my personal experience with theology that the physical symptoms are a representation of the core foundation of the problem, meaning depression has physical symptoms like being tired all the time, no energy. That medication does help, but the core root of it is a spiritual problem. See, in those cases where people take the medication, it helps them with the physical symptoms, but not the spiritual problem at its core. A lot, like for example, of Elijah fled for his life, he's afraid for his life, and he just gave up. Spiritually, what was wrong with him? He gave up on the goodness of God, protected him, lost faith in God, lost hope in God, lost trust in God, and basically just wanted to die. That's depression right there. If you read about Elijah in the book of Kings. But what's God saying? He said, get up. I'm not going to let you there. I have more for you to do. Come talk to me about it. I want to hear from you. Now, number two, some people say, well, depression or sadness or anxiety are just these feelings that you experience and you just need to get over them. Point number two, depression is not just feelings. It is not just feelings of emptiness. It is not just feelings of sadness. Which brings me back to my point above, is that it's a spiritual and mental problem, yes, but spiritual at its core. Which brings me to point number three. Now, imagine feeling like hopeless, aimless, lost, like you just deep inner emptiness, and you just don't know what to do with it. And you're all alone and nobody cares. Yeah, that's what I experienced. Which brings me to point number three. Get to the root cause of the problem, and if you're Christian or Catholic, ask God in prayer to reveal the root cause of the depression. Since you notice the symptoms, acknowledge the spiritual problem, and it's not just these feelings. And believe me, God will tell you what needs to be done. That's why Jesus tells us, do not be afraid, or do not fear, or do not be in unbelief. That's why Jesus tells us this all the time. Even with people, even the Gospels, it's like Jairus and his daughter died. And Jesus tells him, oh, she's only sleeping, don't be afraid. When he's like experiencing the sorrow once he gets the news that his daughter died, and Jesus raises her from the dead. Same thing with Lazarus. Everybody thought Lazarus was dead, and they felt sorrowful. Even Jesus wept with us because he is fully human, fully God. And God knows our humanity. He knows our problems. He really does sympathize with us closer than people say. And that's what happens when you get to the root and ask God in prayer, because he's going to address this with you. God doesn't want us feeling empty, lost, sorrowful, aimless, tired all the time, or like there's no hope, there's no goodness, there's nothing. That's what depression is a symptom of. It's giving up on God's power, his love, his hope. And I just hope my message helps somebody out, is that you're not alone. I suffer from it myself. Did I fully get over it? It comes and goes, but I'm way better once I started praying to God and asking for help and seeking him out in prayer. Because believe me, you're going to notice results. I'm not promising your life's going to change, as I don't know your circumstances, but your life circumstances also contribute to a reason why you may be feeling depressed. Don't get me wrong. But you have to acknowledge that depression is not just a physical problem. It has a spiritual root and core that has to be addressed as well. Otherwise, it'll just keep lingering and lingering and lingering. Like if you've been on medication before and it didn't help, or medication made it worse, or you're on medication but you didn't notice just a slight change. If medication physically fixed all your symptoms, then depression would be cured, and depression would only be a physical problem. But it's not. The physical symptoms and emotions are problems indicating a spiritual root cause. And I cannot emphasize it enough that you're not alone in this journey, and that you have to use your discretion to seek out help, wherever that may be. For me, it was coming to God in prayer, like Elijah did and Moses did, and Jesus tells us to. For you, it might be different. But I just want to encourage you in this video that you are not alone.